Hello my friends, in today's video I will present to you my timbre pack for the Casio Privia PX-5S, an excellent digital piano, which is not just a digital piano, it has a lot of different resources and possibilities. And it is not a coincidence that although it has been on the market for at least 10 years now, it is still the leader inside its own price range. And that's because it offers a lot for its price. And in this video, besides showing you my timbre pack, I'll also be talking a little bit about the Casio Privia PX-5S and for who I recommend it. So, let's go! Very well. Be welcome to the Piano Worship channel. My name is André. If you are not subscribed to our channel, I invite you to subscribe because here you'll find everything you need to know about piano and keyboard for everyone who plays at the church or wants to play. I also invite you to check out my course, Piano Worship, a 100% Christian, 100% online piano and keyboard course from the basics to advanced so that you can play at the church with excellence to the Lord. The link is in the description. So, let's get to it. First, before talking about the timbre pack, I want to talk a little bit about the Casio Privia PX-5S. So let's start our general review. The first important thing to note about the Casio Privia PX-5S is that it is not only a digital piano. It is a stage piano, a piano for live presentations. And that you can confirm at Casio's website, where they list all of their digital pianos, but the Privia PX-5S is listed as a stage piano, not a digital piano. And it is important that we know how to differentiate between stage pianos and digital pianos. Just to make it clear, in this video I will be using the term stage piano to define the keyboards we use for live presentations. So let's start. What is the difference between a stage piano and a digital piano? The main difference is the purpose that each one of them have. The main purpose of a digital piano is to be an instrument to be played at home, for studying piano or just in your free time. Whatever the use may be, it's an instrument to be played at home. So that normally means that it is not a very good instrument for live performances. That doesn't mean that it can't be played in other places, just that it has the main purpose to be played at home. On the other hand, we have the stage piano, that, as the name says, it's a keyboard for stage performances, live performances. It doesn't matter if you're gonna play at a bar, at a church, at an event, at a party. Stage pianos are made to be played live, at live performances. And now that we know the difference between these two types of keyboards, we can get into the specifics and know what defines a stage or a digital piano. A digital piano, for example, has speakers implemented, so that if you want to play at home, you can just turn on the keyboard and play normally. And on the other hand, we have stage pianos which don't have speakers. The PX-5S, for example, doesn't have, and that goes for every other brand and category of stage piano. They don't have speakers, even the ones that are much more expensive. And why do stage pianos don't have speakers? Well, that's because when you're gonna play live performances, normally you connect these keyboards to sound systems and sound amplifiers so that the crowd can hear you. And that's the first difference, the non-existence of speakers in stage pianos. The next main difference is that on digital pianos you normally have fewer options for timbre settings and live performance controls. So normally digital pianos focus more, if not everything, on piano timbres. So it is an alternative for a home piano, for example. When the player wants another timbre, like a piano and pad, piano and strings, for example, he just presses a button and gets the timbre that he wants. But normally, digital pianos don't have resources for editing timbres, for example, or live adjustments. It is very much made for people who want to play piano and practice piano at home. On the other hand, stage pianos are different. They need specific controls, which I'm going to exemplify using the PX-5S in just a bit. That, for example, in the PX-5S you have 6 faders and 4 knobs, and that's the main difference between a stage piano and a digital piano. A digital piano doesn't give you that many options. And here you can do a lot of things. You can change the essence of the sound. You can change the EQ, you can add pads, electric pianos, organs. So these controls are essential, especially for those that are going to play live music. Because what we need is practicality. Musicians that play live cannot give themselves the time to stop the song and change timbres. No, in live performance situations, musicians need these controls and these resources to change the sounds, alter the timbres as they are playing, and you can find all of these resources in the stage pianos. And besides all of these alterations that you can do live, in the PX5S's case, it offers you a plethora of options for editing timbres and also for mixing timbres, which is not available on digital pianos. Normally, on digital pianos, you're probably going to use the timbres that already come with it. In the best scenario, you're just going to have a dual or split option. But in the PX5S, you can mix a lot of different timbres, assign a fader to each one of them. You can edit these sounds on your PC or on your keyboard, but also on the program that Casio itself disponibilizes, which is the date editor, made for the PX5S, in which you can edit the sound and do a lot of alterations using your PC. So these are the main differences between a stage piano and a digital piano. Being said that, I can assure you that the PX5S is the cheapest stage piano that we have on the market right now. I don't know of a keyboard which is cheaper than this one, so in the matter of cost-benefit, the PX5S is one of the best on the entire market, especially with all its advantages and resources. So what are the pros of the PX5S? Well, for starters, the thing that everyone agrees on is that the keys are awesome. The PX5S has heavy keys with hammer action. It's very good to play, especially if you like heavy keys. They simulate piano keys, and I assure you that you will be very satisfied with these keys. Another very strong pro for the PX5S is the acoustic piano timbre that it has. The acoustic piano timbre of the PX5S, which I'm going to play for you in just a bit, is an excellent timbre. Really, really good. Casio really got it on this one. The timbre is fantastic, really beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It really simulates the timbre of a grand piano. It's very realistic. So S plus on the acoustic piano timbre. And besides the acoustic piano timbres, there are a lot of other timbres here that are good, not excellent, but good. And this thing about not having other excellent timbres besides the piano ones, I'm not going to even count it as a con because, after all, it is a stage piano, it is a keyboard made for musicians who are going to play piano. The other timbres, cue them, edit them, add other timbres, you can also get good sounds. Another great pro about this keyboard is its mobility. Of course, it is hard to talk about mobility when it comes to a stage piano. It is an 88 keys instrument, it is big, and its purpose is to get us as close as possible to a piano experience, an acoustic piano experience. But it also has to give us mobility. We're talking about an 88 keys instrument. It will obviously not fit in the trunk of a regular car. Unless we're talking about a really big car, for most people this is not an option. So if you really want to get it from one place to the next, you will probably have to make space for it in your car, putting it upwards instead of sideways on the passenger seat. So listen to my tips because here it is 15 years of experience playing 88 keys instruments, so I'm very used to this. But it's important to say that although it is a big instrument, it is not very heavy. It only weighs in about 22 pounds. So it is not very heavy, it's just a little bit awkward to fit. So if you want a very light and compact instrument, this is not the one for you. I would say this one, it's in the average. It's not very light, but it's not very heavy, as I've had keyboards which were like 60 pounds. So this one is just about 30 pounds, it's very easy to carry it around, and if piano keys are a must for you, this is the perfect instrument. So in the mobility factor, I am giving the PX-5S 1 point. Another great pro of the PX-5S, which I mentioned earlier, are the controls. It has 6 faders, 4 knobs, 1 modulation, 1 pitch bend, so you have a lot of controls that you can set however you want it to. So a lot of possibilities. I was really surprised with how much stuff you can do with this and how much you can get from playing with the controls. Now we'll talk a little bit about the cons. In reality, I really don't like pointing out the cons of the PX-5S, especially because of its price. For what it costs, it's kind of pointless to be picking out its problems. For me, there is really just one negative side to this keyboard, which is the noise that the keys make. Although I like the feeling of the keys and how they play, they have this really irritating kind of noise when you play them. And that's about it, actually. But of course, only this little minor detail doesn't ruin the experience of all the other resources that it has. So this is really the only negative point to be made about this keyboard. It's kind of irritating, but you can get along with it. So to summarize everything in this general review, this is a very good 88 keys keyboard, especially if you want an alternative and not necessarily a digital piano. So if you want an 88 keys instrument that has a acoustic piano sound, but still offers you a lot of other good resources, the PX-5S is an excellent option, especially inside its price range on the market. So I really recommend it. Very well, now I'll present to you my timbre pack for the PX-5S. Before I show it to you, I'll talk briefly about what it has. In this pack, you will have access to 8 timbres that I've personally set up for you. I'll show them to you in just a bit, and in most of these timbres I've already set up the faders so that you can use them to raise other layers, lower other layers, and add stuff in. Inside this pack, you'll also get 12 continuous pads, which is what I used at the start of the video. For example, let me use one right here. This one is in D. I'm not playing anything. Look, I stopped playing and the continuous pad is still sounding out. I made 12 of these, one for each key. And besides the 8 timbres and the 12 continuous pads, you'll also have my exclusive support for the installation process. Right after you make the purchase, which I'll leave a link to in the description and also in the pinned comment, following this link, you will be sent to the website where you can make the purchase and the file will be sent immediately after. It is sent automatically, and when you receive it, you can download it on your keyboard. The installation is very simple and very fast. In less than 5-10 minutes you can already install it. I'll also send a video where I explain in detail, step by step, how you can install it. And if you have any more difficulties, you'll also have access to my email where you can send the questions and I'll be readily available to help you in the installation process. But you can be rest assured that everything in the process is very easy to do. But there is a warning that I must give you right now. To download this pack, you must have a computer or a laptop available, because you're gonna need it to send the files that I'm going to send to you to a USB drive, and then after, take those files and install them on your keyboard. So if you don't own a PC or a laptop, I don't recommend that you buy this pack, unless you have someone else that has a computer do this process for you instead, which takes less than 2 minutes to complete. You only have to take the file and pass it from the computer to the drive. The rest of the installation process will be done exclusively on the keyboard. So that's the only thing that you need to be aware of, is that you need a computer or a laptop to do the installation, and that's basically everything we have on the spec. So now I'm going to show you the sounds. So that this video doesn't go for too long, I'm just going to play the sounds and do the alterations so that you can hear the programming that I made specifically for the PX5S. I'm not going to be explaining sound for sound what each thing does. For those of you that buy the pack, I'll be sending a video where I explain in detail how to use each fader and each sound as well. But in a general sense, everything is already set up. You just have to control the sound to your favor so that you can get the sounds that you want to hear. I've already set up everything so that you can just play it. So let's start from timbre number 0, which is an acoustic piano. So in this first sound, we of course have an acoustic piano, pads, and also a layer of strings that you can add to add a little bit more of color. And also, here in the modulation, I programmed the cutoff for the pad, so that if I play just the pad here so you can hear it. Oh, here I'm playing the pad, but why is it the sound coming out? That's because the cutoff is entirely closed, but if I raise it... So now, if I add the piano, so that's already a fantastic thing that a digital piano usually doesn't offer you, which is the controls, the layers, and also the cutoff. So this one is the Piano 00, which has the name Piano Andres. Next up, we have the Piano Worship. It has a bit more of a intricate sound, which is characteristic for those of you that want to play at the church. So this timbre right here gets even better if you play it alongside a continuous pad. So for example, if I add a pad right here, which I'll show you in just a bit how you can do it. For example, this one is in C major. Let's hear it. So notice that in this timbre we have a piano which is a little bit shinier, it has a little bit more of an ambience. I also added this pad, which is a resource from the PX-5S. I used the X layer to get this pad. I can close its cutoff or open it.
Você coloca o piano, né? Para tocar worship, fantástico esse timbre.
Cool, so this is the piano worship. The 02 is a Rhodes timbre. This was a very cool one for me, because when I got the PX-5S, I didn't really like its Rhodes timbre. It had some frequencies that weren't really sounding right for me, but after hard work and a lot of time, I got to this.
Coisa linda, hein?
Cool, so here we have a Rhodes piano with a pad on it, which you can also raise its cutoff.
E string também.
And here in the 03 spot, we also have an electric piano. I also had a little bit of difficulty finding timbres that I liked, those DX timbres, the heavier ones. And with a lot of effort, I eventually got this timbre. You can use this timbre for things like this. Cool, so a very interesting electric piano timbre. In the number 4, I programmed an acoustic piano with an option of an added organ. For example, here we have the piano. That's a very interesting option for color in your music. You can alter the feeling between the verse and the chorus, for example. So let's suppose it's time for the chorus. Rising.
Entrou o refrão.
So that's a very interesting resource also, and it's ready for you to play. And the number 5, we have a standard strings timbre. And the first fader, we have our bass strings.
Normal.
In the second fader, we have staccato. And in fader number 3, we have a pad. You can also alter the cutoff and the resonance on this pad using the modulation part of the keyboard on this one. In the 06, we have an organ. Also, in the modulation, I added the Leslie box, simulator, where you can simulate that wobbly sound when I have it turned off. Just a light vibration, but not a lot. And now I can raise the modulation. In the 07 bank, I added some brass. In this brass section, I've already set up on the right hand
piano
with a pad. I've also set up in the right hand some brass sounds in octaves that have a little bit more body in the sound. Cool, so we also have some interesting brass sounds. So these are the 8 timbres that I've set up for you. From 0 to 7, totalizing 8 timbres. And besides the timbres, we also have the continuous pads, which are very easy to use. You press the praise button, and this will show up on your screen. The continuous pad in C. So from now on, if you want to play in C, you just have to press here, start, and now it started playing. And now let's suppose you don't want the one in C, you want another key. You simply go here, in the yes or plus sign, and scroll forward. And here are them. So all of these continuous pads are already mixed up to a very pleasurable volume, so you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's basically it. If you want to purchase this pack, the link is in the description. A tight hug, God bless, see ya!